It's an amazing pleasure for me to welcome the distinguished audience, my colleagues, some partners, some friends, and lovers of the Macallan brand to this memorable event. As you already know, every experience with the Macallan is truly a unique one. A few months ago, on an amazing evening, just like this one, we launched the Macallan Mastery campaign in an exclusive all-table experience, the first of its kind in Nigeria. During that event, we spoke to you about the plans of the Macallan brand here in Nigeria, the vision, one of which is to drive the narrative of passion, excellence, and craftsmanship. One of the ways we will do this is through partnership with key modules in different industries who have consistently demonstrated these qualities over the years and achieved creative success and recognition. Therefore, tonight, we will be celebrating and launching a collaboration with two of Nigeria's finest icons in art, photography, and fashion. You know them, you love them. They are the best at what they do. They have mastered their craft, and there is no doubt that they are now truly masters in their field, just like the Macallan.
Opportunity to ascend to mastery of his craft. At every point in the transition, Macallan has been there, represented a symbol of mastery. For some who wish to become their craftsmanship, the Macallan brand has served as a great beacon to the world. And for those still on the journey, the moment of realization is just an endeavor away, because beauty is exquisite, but it is more than that. Control is perfection, but this is about more than that. Mastery is knowing the unknown before it's known. It's the ability to capture 1,000 words in a single picture. It is innovative thinking that shapes social consciousness. It's who they are. It's what they do. It's what they know. The finest art. It's mastery. It's Macallan.
Thank you very much. Okay, this evening is all about mastery. That's the theme for this evening. Each and every single one of you here are masters in your own field. And the amazing, awesome brand of the Macallan has saw it fit to bring each and every single one of you here for an amazing evening of a massive upgrade. So once again, a round of applause for yourselves for championing your fields respectively. It is before the Olorus Spiders, much respect to them, but this gentleman crafted and charted a way forward, laying out the blueprints for the nightlife and the entertainment that we enjoy. So this, allow me to ask you one simple question. Define mastery in your own words.
Excellence, tenacity. Yes.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing attributes to mastery. A man who sees before it has already materialized. A man who has immortalized himself as one of Nigeria's foremost fashion designers. Globally recognized. Locally known. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm reception to none other than my Atafo, Monsieur Kelechi, Amadi-Obi. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen, as he makes his way on stage. Good evening, gentlemen.
It's a pleasure to be here.
This is your platform. I'm not worthy. You step off. It's good to meet you.
Always. I call you my Uma.
So how do we start this? Let me first of all say good evening to everyone here today, and thank you for coming. And I think that if I speak for myself and Kelechi, is that we're very honored and a tad bit scared, a tad bit scared to be here when
beautiful. For me, it's really about the journey of life. For me, there is no arrival. Mastery is a journey. It's a series of activities based on your personal habits. And I say, I've known this man for I don't know how many years.
Don't disclose our ages.
I mean, you know, and it's always, I remember the days when he was a weekend warrior, you know, making wedding gowns while working at, you know, and I always say, it's all about understanding who you are. And all those years, Mai has remained consistent, resilient, and unflinching in his vision of where he was going to, you know. And I see that mirrored in my life too. It's all about focus. And then at the end of the day, when I got that call from the Macallan, you know, and I looked at it and I said, oh, this is amazing, you know, and it's one of those things that I hold dear, being a Nigerian, because even in the audience right here, you know, I'm looking at the conglomerate of a lot of masters, and that gives me hope.
I think that's just a round of applause. If for nothing else, but the way that it took this within from my life. I think that there's something that I thought I'd share here is when we're going through the process of, when did they say here's the call from Macallan? It feels like we're James Bond and agents. And M calls you, all pun intended. And M calls you and says, we have a mission for you. So go forth and be masters. And I think our journey has come a long way. We're more than happy to partner with ourselves.
Yeah.
Again, because we've done this several times on several different projects. We've traveled the length and breadth of this country, doing stuff together. But I know it wasn't small. And I decided to go into this full time. Because I worked my journey and I decided to go full time. And when someone looks at you and says you're a master, and I say this thing a lot, it's almost like a settle. Because you want to think, do I sit and enjoy my accolades, or this is now time for me to actually start learning? And I just say, unlearn, relearn, and learn.
Beautiful.
So the journey continues. For me, I know what I'm doing as part of my partnership with the Macallan. Kelechi, what are you doing as part of your partnership with the Macallan?
Oh, well,
By the way, that's a nice shot of both of us enjoying something really nice. Kelechi took that photograph because you're right of course for me.
My name is Macallan, and I'm a TV presenter. And I'm very pleased to be part of this event that the Macallan is hosting. I'm going to be calling on, first of all, the lead brand ambassador for the Macallan, Moturayo Abiona, to join us on stage. Round of applause for fresh makes away. I have to say, you guys are a wonderful audience, Like, the claps are good, the smiles are good. I think it's because we've all, DJ, can you help me turn the music down, please? Thank you. I think it's because we've all been at home. So these days, when we come out, it's like, we participate properly, right? Hey, COVID did a number on us. So now I would like to call on two people that I greatly admire. First, I'd like to call on my Atafo to join us on stage. And I'd like to call on the Kelechi Amadi-Obi to join us on stage as well. I told you guys you were clapping, and then your claps now started shaking. Thank you. Can we get one more mic, please? Wonderful. So for me, this panel is kind of personal, because when I say that both Uncle Kels, I call him Uncle Kels, we're going to be African. I'm not going to call him Kelechi. He's my uncle. When I say Uncle Kels and my Atafo have been a huge part of my journey, I sincerely mean that. I've known both of them for years. Mine was part of my audition process and fought for me to make sure that I became a TV presenter. And Uncle Kels gave me wonderful feedback on my very first episode when I was hosting Moments with Mom. And there are two people who, when they see something that's good, they go after it, and also they're not shy to give you encouragement in making sure that you become a master in your industry. So I'm going to start with you, Uncle Kels. You know, we've had multiple conversations about your journey in becoming the photographer that you are. Talk to us a little bit about becoming an artist and then moving into photography.
Oh, well, I think becoming is the thing. How do you become? It's not naturally, I grew up in Ohio. It's a quiet, sophisticated city. But we didn't have a gallery, we didn't have an art school, never met an artist before in my life. And in my nucleus family, well, my father was a high court judge, my mom was a teacher, so naturally I decided to study law. It was when I got to university, the University of Nigeria, that I realized that, wow, there are real artists out there living the art as their life, you know? So it was in my year 3 I decided I was going to be a full-time artist. Very radical. I said I was going to get my call to bar and then start practicing as an artist. First time I came to Lagos was during one of those Babangida riots. And I went to stay with one of my cousins. She's here right now. Her name is Ekoma. And she took me to her office. And she said, oh, you know, some of the people in my office, they like artworks. I said, interesting. She said, they would want you to make those shadow paintings, you know. I said, what do you mean? You mean to draw somebody's shadow and paint it black? And she said, yes. I said, good, I'll teach them how to. Say, shut up, you don't know how to make money. They want to pay for it. I said, no, but it's not art. I said, no. So those are the first times I discovered the monetary value of what I do, you know. And eventually I came into Lagos and I became a painter. After getting called to bar, I was the only one who could understand that I was going to make it. So my first exhibition, top exhibition, was in 1997 at the Russian Cultural Center. You know, Russia was still a, the Soviet Union was still a country then. And eventually photography sort of crept into my life. I used to use photographs as reference for my paintings. But eventually people started looking at the photos and they saying, we want to buy the photos. I said, this is interesting. And then before I knew it, people were coming to commission me for photographs. I said, wow. So that's how I got into photography. But up until now, things have not changed. What I mean is, I'm still that little child who is excited based on how his work affects the rest of the people. So the positive energy that I get from people becomes my fuel. Sometimes they pay me money. Sometimes they say, we want you to be an ambassador for Macallan.
I think one of my favorite things with Uncle Kels is also his smile. He has a master smile and such beautiful energy. Thank you. You know, the first time I met you, you were making a wedding dress for my cousin, and I don't think you remember this. And it was really fascinating. You made my sister's wedding dress as well. And it was really interesting because my sister was like, you know, he has a full-time job. And I think we also need to contextualize, you know, my journey and also Uncle Kels that they were interested in industries where back then, you can't say you want to be an artist. You were a doctor. What else were you? Exactly. And they were men. And here they are saying, I want to be an artist. Darling. You know, so when you were on this journey and you chose to continue to be a brand marketing executive or one of the lead, you know, beverage brands in Nigeria, but at the same time you're doing a side hustle of fashion. Talk to us about that experience and also how you were able to really continue to believe in yourself when a lot of people
so my journey literally from my corporate gig to my side hustle, it was just not one thing that you have conversations with your friends. And sometimes people leave you with parting words and you feel, okay, that's all right, but they stick. And he probably would never know this wherever Amadi-Obi is today. We had something called Tadawa, which was a gathering of creatives. And I was part of the people that started it. That's where there's, found out in that gathering. But anyway, M.I. told me when I talked about fashion and everything, he said, when you get to the gate of heaven, and God asks you, what did you do with what I gave you? What will your answer be? And I said, what was that? He said, God is giving us something we do not have to work for us to earn a living on earth. I did fashion while I was working for 3 years. I didn't see it as work, I saw it as fun. Even though I was in the studio till 12 midnight, it wasn't fancy. The studios in Lekki Phase 1, then it was in a Butsumet at my born away, in some 2-bedroom apartment on the 6th floor. There's no elevator on Born But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that people would come and say, thank you, I want to order 3 more, I want to order 4 more. And I think it's from just tiny little drops that it just moves and moves in the life. Let's 2 more. And as you're doing more, okay, now let me try to earn my craft in this thing that I'm doing. So it's not just a social experiment or something that I do for fun. So the first time I got paid for a wedding gown, 90,000 naira. I made 45,000 naira rain in the office. Literally, I threw 45,000 naira on the couch. But that was money. 90,000 now. If you ask for a wedding gown, I'll tell you, on behalf it's about 1.2 million naira. But then it was something, and I think that for me registering at the Savvy Road Training Institute to earn my craft and go deeper into suit making, and going to Instituto de Borgo in Milano to go and learn to do patterns for suits, it just shows me that I need to keep learning to improve my craft. But the journey and the switch, I always thought it was very emotional. I woke up one day, went to work and said, I'm going to do this. It wasn't planned. I didn't think about it when I was leaving home that morning. I got to work and I said, this is it. I'm stopping. I had one person to explain to, and that was my wife. To say, I think I can feed us for the next 1 year. So give me 1 year. If this goes wrong, I will get a job. But give me 1 year salary for 1 year, which I put in an account. And my wife's a chartered accountant. So being a woman and a chartered accountant, bad combination. If the money is running out, I'll tell you. And here we are, 11 years later, and I've never looked back.
One of my favorite things to do as an interviewer and someone who's very curious is it's very important that you hear people's stories and journeys, and these are abbreviated versions, right? When you think about it, that there is a lot of backlash and a lot of struggle in becoming a master. Now, Motoraya, when we think about the Macallan, a single malt Scotch whiskey that really is one of a kind. And I'm going to tell a quick funny story. When they called me to be, why don't you do an interview?
Oh, you got the call from M too?
And I thought to myself, I said, the Macallan that was in behind her eyes. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Say who if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, not many Netflix people here. All right. When you think about it, there's a reason why you chose Uncle Kel's in mind. Talk to us a little bit about what the Macallan means and the journey in becoming a master of the industry when it comes to single malt whiskeys.
That's a great question, but you know as well as I do that the Macallan is known for luxury, and first and foremost, that is what has brought us together. But the real question is, how did we get to this level of mastery with such a fantastic whiskey like the Macallan, right? I must say that it was through hard work. and consistently achieving excellence as a brand without compromising quality whatsoever. And it's amazing to know that the Macallan has been existing since year 1824, and it has achieved the highest level of mastery, the highest level of recognition. It has achieved amazing awards from its inception to date. Take for instance the Macallan Distillery in Speyside, Scotland. It is built to world-class, state-of-art, great architectural distillery, and this distillery won an award as the best building, and that's to say we are here to stay. We have been there in the past, we'll continue to be here even in the future to come. And so when you think about a brand like that, you want to be able to share that shared knowledge with fantastic people. Who would you think of? You have to think of the masters in their rights. For instance, we have the collaboration with Bentley, we have collaboration with Capital Place, global international engagements with individuals that have achieved amazing craftsmanship. The best, the quality is top-notch. So it's very important for us to make sure that we choose the right people, right? And we're very finicky about that. It took us a long time, but when I called Kelechi and my boss right there said, carry on. I'm like, yes, let's do this for Macallan Nigeria. So I'm excited, really excited.
I've got a project that is close to my heart. For me, it's about not just becoming a master, but letting people come to a realization of who they are. So the project I'm working on with Macallan is Amazing Nigeria. It's about going to different parts of the country and bringing out what is excellent about it, what is remarkable about it. For me, it's a journey, it's the higher purpose of my craft, which is to tell the story of the black race through Nigeria. This is the most populous black nation in the world. Huge landmass, unbelievable variety of cultures and languages and things. So what we need is to discover who we truly are. So what we're going to do is to go through the different regions of this country and seek for what is amazing about the country and represent it in my photography.
It's probably going to want to put it on steroids, which is trying to get Nigerian fashion designers to be more fashion entrepreneurs through, through direct mentorship. And I think a lot of us get it wrong. We're having this conversation today, which is, we design amazingly and we don't get the return for the craft we have. And that's because, it's very challenging. You are a designer, PR, marketing, social media manager, influencer, tailor. It's a lot. And a lot of people do not see this when they go into start the journey. So it's like, how do I break down my 11 years in little bits and try to get people to come as fast up as possible? So that's on the one side. On the other side, I'm taking one of the pillars of the brand, which is literally the finest cuts. There's something that happens in the process of growing the amazing whiskey that we enjoy, which is where they dispose of a lot of whiskey, a lot, and get the finest cuts, right? And that is what makes the whiskey we enjoy today. Okay, from the Macallan. So from the Macallan, so it's like they pick
16% actually.
What?
16% of all that
16%.
is what we sell.
16%.
So that's the very
finest
best.
cut.
That's the finest cut. 16% makes the finest cut. So I've been challenged to go back 11 years to date to look at everything they have created and come up with the finest cuts for me and present that to the world. That's a bit challenging because in 11 years, that's 2 seasons, That's probably close to about 20 collections I have to break out by 11 pieces. By the way, an average collection for me is 40 pieces per collection. So I have to go 40 times 2, that's 80, 80 times 10. That's about 800. I have to pick out 11. Then bring them up to date and showcase to the world. And they put a timeline to it too. Like that wasn't important. So I'm looking forward to that part because that's going to challenge me too.
The best in storytelling with these amazing pieces for Macallan Management. Trust me. It's bound to be frequently for everybody. Frequently for everybody. Can I get an amen from Young and Samuel?
I think what's right, you're not doing it right. The Oprah way. You get a Bentley. You get a Bentley.
You get a Bentley and everybody get a Bentley.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I would offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I would hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. I'm not from the moment that we met, and there's no doubt in my mind you belong.
From its rich history, prestige, and legacy, the Macallan has evolved to be one of the leading brands in the single malt category. It has garnered a reputation over the years as one of the most valuable and luxurious spirit brand. And this reputation stems from the Macallan's dedication to mastery and craftsmanship. The Macallan has built this reputation on 6 pillars, and this is the journey I'm about to take you on. The Macallan has built this reputation on 6 pillars, and one of the pillars, and the first pillar, is known as the Macallan Spiritual Home. The spiritual home is famously known as the Macallan Elki's house, and this is the birthplace of the Macallan, built in the 1700s. I'm not exactly sure of the date, but I'll take it back as far as the 1700s. And it's still standing today, and this sits on an estate of 475 acres. And this estate holds some of the, or houses some of the elements that are very important to the core of the Macallan brand. And I'm talking the rich valley fields, the river Spey, the Speyside River, and this serves as the source of the natural spring water that is used in the distillation of the Macallan brand, as well as the architectural masterpiece that is known as the Macallan Distillery. Now, in this Macallan Distillery, we have the second pillar. The second pillar is known as the Curiously Small Stills. The Curiously Small Stills are particularly unique or peculiar to the Macallan brand in the sense that they are one of the smallest size, the smallest shape, the smallest form of the spirit stills in the whiskey making industry. And this is done because at the Macallan we try to give the best quality liquid. And when you have a small still pot, It makes for a concentrated aroma and flavors of the liquid that every time you sip a Macallan, you're getting the rich, viscous, very full-bodied feel when you take a sip of the Macallan.
No hell below us, our bubbles on the sky, imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, or no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Yeah. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will leave us one. Will leave us one. And the world will leave us one. Thank you.
Kelechi, and to mine. At the beginning when we started, I asked my team, we had a list of 27 top artists, masters of their craft. And we ended up with 2. And my team said, why do we have 2? I said, usually I set the standard, and then you let people catch up with it. I'm very happy to have you mine. Bros Kelechi, I have no doubt that what we are doing today is an ignition. It's more than a partnership, it's an ignition. When 2 big brands come together, they ignite, and you never know what will come out of it. There are endless possibilities, there are endless ideas, but our job at the end of today is to land the finest liquid in the mouth of our consumers. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to a journey where we don't know the end. Because like I truly believe in the journey, not in the destination. And like Kelechi, for me, mastery is all about learning. You will never arrive, we will never arrive, because we will keep setting higher standards until we get to a place where we can hand over to the next generation. So I want to welcome you to a journey that has no end. Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you.